I mean, she literally, like, the last normal year was the first year of junior high, you know, and so she's just having a really tough time. Her grades are really bad, and she's been a straight A student her entire life, has had over a 4.0, and
we're having
really
the same
rough.
problem with Cameron.
Yeah, it's really
he's
rough.
Fluctuating from D's to C's.
Yeah, same.
And it's because he's not keeping up on anything.
No, and the motivation, there's no motivation. You know, like, she used to be so concerned about her grades and how everything was going, and she's just literally like, I don't care. And I don't know. It's been a rough year so far, for sure. And just all the pressure with volleyball, and there's so much pressure from there because it's high school, you know. It's a whole different level.
Yeah.
So naturally, her whole body is just defeated. It's been rough. rough.
Yeah, well, that's part of why our last week was, well, not for me, but for Brittany.
Yeah.
She must have 15 hours into helping Cameron with homework this week.
Oh gosh, that's so brutal. And, you know, I feel so bad, and I feel for Britt. You know, I sit there all weekend, and I'm sure you guys have it too, but we have this, like, infinite campus. And so it updates, you know, I get alerts on my phone every time one of the kids' grades has been updated. And I mean, all weekend, just ding, 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 ding. Like, their teachers were obviously just sitting at home entering grades the whole weekend. It just makes me feel so bad that, you know, because you're like, yesterday it was like Sunday at 2:00, and, you know, Tristan's grades just kept changing. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is so sad. Somewhere there's a teacher working on homework and entering grades
all the time. People never ever understand it. They think these teachers just, like, have these great lives, don't work all summer, don't do this and that, but when they're working, they are working.
Yeah, no, I feel bad. Sometimes I just want to email the teachers and go, you don't need to put in that homework right now. I mean, I know they do, but, you know, I feel bad.
We have anybody on?
In there, got 10 people.
We used to always be able to see, and now we can't for some reason.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't give
Walter Havens is here.
Count.
I know sometimes it's glitchy and it doesn't even show me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have any control over that. Maybe it'll kick in eventually for you. I don't know.
That we've had recently on Instagram that we can also talk about. You can bring up.
Cool. Good morning, everybody.
I'm gonna switch you guys.
Oh,
whoa,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. My light fell. My little cheap
Awesome.
panel light.
Good morning, Walter. Thanks for joining us so early. How is everybody?
Where's Walter at?
Oh, I don't remember now. I mean, I know and I don't know.
I think he's back east.
I think so.
Well, it's not as early as this for us.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah. It's an early Monday morning, you guys. It's hard. I don't know about you guys, but here it's still dark. And I think this is probably the first Bead Maker and Coffee where it's like solid dark here. So it's a little bit rougher. Hey, Keith. Yeah, you're up early. Walter's in Louisville. Walter's in Louisville.
It's 9:30 there.
Yeah. So of course it's still dark there. You guys are probably used to being in the dark. Good morning, everybody. It's dark and drizzly where Abraham is. Where is that, Abraham? It's very dark here. It's cold, but it's supposed to be I think they said it's supposed to be 80 degrees here today, and they said that we have 1 week left of nice weather, and then next week it's going to be 50. So this is my last good week.
Oh man, I think Abraham's up near Indiana somewhere.
Yep, Indiana, he said.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, well, it's been I'm hiding here in the background, but it's been almost 100 degrees here, right, Kyle?
Oh my goodness,
And
that's horrible.
We had some weird weather. Beautiful at the beginning of the week last week, and then man, it was hot as could be. Now it's saying it's going to be cloudy today, and there's a chance of storms tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I'm
So I
going
don't know
on
what to believe
I'm going
anymore.
on day 7 or 10 without air conditioning.
What?
It's been broken, and because of COVID, they can't get parts.
Can we put up William Lara's comment?
You're his favorite now. I'm not his favorite anymore.
Sydney is now my fave. You know, it's really sad because I had to ask him to say that.
Well, I mean, I think you earned
funny.
it with all the videos you were doing for people, for him
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Custom videos.
Yeah, my million retakes. I should make a highlight reel. That was pretty funny. Scott Mesha's here, and he
Bloopers.
says it's been in the low 40s there at night. Same. It's like freezing. Kyle is mean to me, says William. She paid for him to say it. I didn't pay. I just begged, Scott. I just begged William to say, can you please say I'm your favorite? Because you always send the love to Kyle. That's what I said.
It's okay.
So funny.
I'm all right with
So
that.
funny.
I'm not hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's up, Kyle? Should we start with what's new at PNS? We do have one big new thing that happened last week. That's pretty
go for
exciting. So everybody needs to log on to psdetailproducts.com. We have a brand new website, and it is so awesome. So you can now order from the website, and it's all very clean and crisp. Ian Belcher, who is the newest Team PNS member, totally did a overhaul on the website, and it looks so great. The photos are great. Everything is clean, crisp, easy to find, easy to order. So if you have not checked that out, that has been probably a year in the, just concept to let's get this done. So Ian's been instrumental on that. He did an absolutely awesome job. And so please go check that out. It's very, very nice. Oh, Chris is going to pull it up for us. It looks absolutely fantastic. Spencer, it's psdetailproducts.com.
Man, that
there we
looks
go.
good. Those
There's a link right in the stream now. Yeah, so good. So good. I love the website. So we are all super excited about that. So that's our big news out of PNS. And then otherwise, back in Hayward, they're just rocking on moving into the new warehouse. I believe they're close to complete with that. We've seen some pictures. So they are getting all moved in there. We'll kind of have some new pictures and news out of Hayward in the next couple weeks, but they're moving in. That's great. There is an About Us tab. That's what Chris is showing us right now, is the About Us tab. So if you want to know more about any of the members of Team PNS, you can go click on the About Us tab. And that has like a little bio for each of us. And I believe, Chris, is there links to like the trainings and stuff on there?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
And
everything should be really easy to find. Yeah.
All the hats, the shirts, the hoodies are all up on there. So everyone asks, hoodie or the hat? Well, if your distributor isn't carrying it, then you can go right there. You can get your
very cool. Very cool. A lot of people
coffee,
mugs. Yep. And I did get a lot of messages. In case anybody did not see my garage tour last weekend on the Rag Company YouTube, they came out to my shop and did a garage tour. And I had a lot of people ask me about that Bead Maker movie poster. So there it is right there. That's where you can get it. So I had a lot of people ask me about that. So it is up on the site, ready to go. There it is. A lot of people caught that in the background of my garage tour. It was so funny how many messages I got about that. So there it is. So awesome. So we love the new site. We're super excited about that. Awesome. Very cool. And look, there's that.
Pictures.
I thought that was your paint prep, Chris, but it's all purpose cleaner.
It's here though. The paint prep
good. Good. That's funny.
I don't know. It's here. I already found it once.
Cool. Awesome. So that is the big news this week. And then how about our details? Hold on. Here's a question about it. So where do you recommend? So let's go ahead and answer this. So where do you recommend detailers get shirts, uniforms that have our business logos? So I use a local printer here in my town just because I try to support local when I can. So I had a local designer do my logo, and then, I just order, he can basically order any shirts or sweatshirts or whatever that I want. And so it was really easy to go through him, and I just order what shirts I want, and he, either embroiders my logo or prints it. But there's a lot of places online that will do that for you too. I'm sure Chris will have some answers on that one, but I started local and they do great. One thing that I know is a popular brand is Red Cap for work shirts.
Yep.
And it's REDKAP, right?
Yes.
It's not, yeah, KAP. And those are the shirts that you'll see us wearing, the McCall's detailing team. Those are the Red Cap work shirts. Very, very nice. They, they last a really long time. They're super durable and they're really nice to embroider on. So that's one brand that you could look into. And then Chris, do you have any feedback for like online places that people can get custom shirts or
T-shirts and stuff? There's places like Custom Ink that do one-offs and low quantity, that kind of thing. But they're gonna, it's gonna cost you a little bit. When you're at low quantities like that, you're at like $40 to $50 a T-shirt sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you can find a local guy that'll do it for you, they're always going to be actually probably a little cheaper and provide you with some pretty decent service.
Cool. Awesome. Or William Lara says everybody can buy a Miami Alex shirt. It is one of my favorite shirts. They're pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Here's Red Cap's website.
Red Cap stuff is great. It's pretty readily available. So if you do have somebody local that does your shirts and things, you shouldn't have, and most of them like mine, if it was something he couldn't get, I could take it into him too. So, I just encourage you to try to work with somebody local. It makes it a lot, easier to communicate what you want when you're dealing with somebody local. So for instance, mine is actually our local, like sports uniform place. It's called McHugh Sports, and he does all of my shirts, even for my car show. So try to work with somebody local. It just makes the communication a little bit easier. Walter, do we have permission to use the PNS logos? Yes. I don't think there's any issue with using the logos at all. If you need we have those in high quality, don't we?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure we do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So Walter, if you want to know more about that, just Walter, just send us a direct message on Instagram and we'll get that to you. Because it does look a lot better when you have the high res graphic. So real quick, before we get into too many questions, let's talk about our details over the last couple of weeks and what products we used and like. So Kyle, you go first.
Well, I did a black Power Wagon lifted. The thing was a monster. And two products really stood out to me. But the one that I wanted to talk about was how this nice new truck had some fingerprints on the door panels, some light dirt on the seats, but it was in pretty decent shape. And how the customer was just amazed at how his interior looked by just taking Express Interior, putting it on a microfiber towel, and just wiping everything down. I wiped the seats down, the cup holders, the armrests, and I can see what's going on. And it just Express was doing a great job. The customer was super. Also on the outside, it was a one-step polish, so Ultra Coat polish came in just perfect on a black ram with the blue blueberry pad from Buff and Shine.
Cool.
So that was kind of the detail that stood out to me. I just love Express. I haven't. The reason why is I've been doing so many exteriors and doing airplanes lately. I haven't really touched an interior in a long time. Been like a month since I've done an interior detail, so it was nice to use it again.
Cool. Awesome. I love Express Interior too. I use it every single car. I absolutely love that you can just wipe down the interior. I do it on my own personal vehicle all the time. I wipe it down every couple of days, and I just absolutely love it for that. So my favorite, I'm going to pick just a product, not one specific detail that stood out to me, but over the last 2 weeks, for whatever reason, I had a major rush on coatings. I felt like I did coatings every single day. It was crazy. But I did 3 cars with Legend. And I know that we've talked a lot about Legend and we all love it, but you know, I haven't kept track on how many cars I've done, but it's been probably over 25 cars with Legend so far. But I did 3 in the last 2 weeks. And one was a brand new white Tesla. I mean, literally it was like 3 days old. And then, what year was that? Maybe like a 2014 black Porsche 911, and then a 2017 Porsche Panamera that was black. So what for Legend is just standing out in my head because I am just still, even to this day, just shocked at how much I love that coating and how great it is. And I had the opportunity to speak with several other detailers in the last week as well who were using Legend. And I think it really just comes down to that whole crack the code thing. Like once you really dial in how to install it and the towels, it is such a great coating and so just, I don't even know the word, but it's just really satisfying to put on and remove. Like it's, you know, it's not a stressful situation at all. The cars look absolutely amazing. And on black paint, Legend is so good. So good. So that product just for me has been such like it was so fun to use over the last couple weeks. It was just really fun. And it's one that always shocks me every time. And so nice I just
dark.
Yeah. Just the way it makes the paint look. I mean, it just looks amazing. Yeah. And then the other thing I want to mention about Legend is, have you guys gotten to use Legend on a Tesla? It is like that coating was made for Tesla paint. It is so good. It goes on so good. And you feel like the protection is really there. So I've done a couple Teslas now with it. And I'm always at the end, just like, oh my gosh, this coating was made for this paint. Tesla paint is very soft, very fussy. And I love the way it goes on. I love the way it comes off. The way it looks it's just crazy, especially on the Tesla Red. Crazy. So anyway, I think Legend is mine.
Legend for me, when I realized I needed to put more product on the applicator, everything got easier.
Yeah.
When I tried to be
sparingly
really light, it wasn't working well for me. I was having smudges and stuff, but when I drenched it in it and I put it on, and then I don't have to put as much on per panel, everything went super easy. And I did a Suburban a couple months ago, had this problem. And by the time I got to the last door, I was not using as much. And that's the door that had the problems. Everything else went great. Yeah. I was just trying to, milk it at the end. And I'm like, oh, I don't need to use as much. I got plenty on here.
Yeah.
Nope. I had to redo the door.
Yeah. And, it's a thick coating.
Every other panel was perfect.
Yep, it's a thick coating. I use a lot. And I mean, I haven't had too many problems with it, but I think just the more you use it, the more comfortable you get with it. And Man, so easy. So great. I love it.
Looks like someone wants you to come to Virginia and code his Tesla.
Like Chris, I can't come to Virginia, but if you need any help, I can certainly help you. For sure. For sure. Teslas, it honestly goes on great. It really, really does. Love it on a Tesla.
Also know some detailers there too.
Yep.
That do legend.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
so let's see here. I see Abraham says the Jolly Rancher smell is great. So did we miss a question?
I think he's talking about
going back to
Express.
Bead Maker.
Oh.
Is it Bead Maker?
There was a Bead Maker question.
Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe it's something else.
All right. So can I ask a question? Please, could you work with the PNS Bead Maker product to keep it longer? I think he means it is really great. So I'm assuming that you mean, can you make Bead Maker last longer?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, but unfortunately it does not last long. The pros cannot therefore offer it to their client as a medium-term protection, especially here in Europe. So, I think that everybody has a different experience with Bead Maker. I'll tell you mine. I have it last on my customers' cars for about 3 to 6 months, which for my regular exterior protection, that's what I offer. Most of my customers do come back within a 6-month period, and the Bead Maker is still there on quite a few of the cars. But I don't know, there's definitely difference in the climate, in how the car is cared for, how it was to begin with. But I'll tell you how I apply Bead Maker and what I see the results from lasting that long is. So when the customer comes in for just a regular, full detail or exterior detail, I'm actually claying with the Bead Maker. So it's, removing contamination and then also, bonding with the Bead Maker. Those cars are coming back and it's still there 6 months later. Now that said, a lot of them are either washing it themselves or running it through a very specific car wash that I ask my customers to use that don't beat up the car very bad. So I think it's one of those things where play around with your application. I do know that if you clay the car and have all the contamination removed, you're going to get a much better bond of the Bead Maker. If you're not doing that, then that Bead Maker is sitting on top of the contamination. So I do feel that that's a pretty important step for, to allow Bead Maker to cross-link with the paint and really hold on. But otherwise, Bead Maker, we've never, advertised it as a long-lasting sealant. So, I think that maybe someday in the future, we'll look at something like that. But I think Bead Maker for itself will probably stay in this space for a while. Do you have any comments about that, Kyle?
Yeah, so I was going to say, Bead Maker for me is usually, I know for sure it's lasting around 3 to 4 months in my climate, because I see most of my customers' vehicles quarterly. Sometimes it's about 6 months where I do start to see that it's diminishing, especially on like RVs. And how I apply it is I give it a generous spray on the pan with one towel and then another towel. It's never been a long-term product but it lasts much longer than say a Carnauba wax. So it's doing exactly we meant it to do. And if we're looking for a longer lasting product, you can go to Ultra Coat paint sealant. You can get more of that 6 to 9 months of protection, and that is a longer lasting. Anything past that, you might as well go to Sol or a ceramic coat. A ceramic coating like Sol if you want long lasting. But out of a spray on product, there's been a lot of testing from PNS with other brands, and I know that it's continually going on. And Bead Maker holds up and lasts longest, but definitely products of spray-on protection.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing too is when a customer is just coming in for an exterior detail. The Bead Maker's fine. I think if you're offering a longer term protection, like the 9 to 12 months, you've got to be charging for that. So for me, that price is almost double. And I either have, and just like Kyle said, I either have Bead Maker or Soul. And so we have a service that we call Wash Clay Soul. So that's basically washing the car, claying it, and applying Soul. The reason we do that without polishing is because Soul is only a 1-year coating. But for me, there's no different, or I don't find I need an in-between between Bead Maker and Soul. Soul is so easy to apply. It takes me about the same amount of time as Bead Maker, but they're going to get twice the length, and they're going to have a true coating that they're really going to benefit from and really be able to see versus some of the spray ceramics. So that's, for me, that's just what I offer my clients. And so, but if somebody's doing the Wash Clay Soul, I mean, it's around $400 or $500 depending, so it's about double. So.
And I was just thinking about how Bead Maker lasts. And this comes there's a lot of questions I've received lately. We've seen in the stories where people are asking what's the difference between Dream Maker and Bead Maker as far as protection. And I wanted to bring that up because even though Dream Maker does have slickness, it does have a little bit of protection in it. It is not a protection driven product like Bead Maker. It's just gloss. So much. Does Dream Maker leave a little bit of protection behind? Yeah. Do we know how long it lasts? It's going to, days to weeks.
For me, it basically lasts until the next wash, really. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that a little longer, it's still out there, but if you're questioning whether you want long-term protection for 3 to 6 months, then if you want to lay down a little bit of shine and have a couple weeks of protection, then Dream Maker. So I hope that answers the question. Answering it.
Yeah.
How about Dream
Maker? Yep. All right, next one. So if my car was coated with G-Technic a year ago, can I put Legend over it, or do I have to remove the G-Technic first? Which coating did you apply a year ago? That's going to determine, if you used something shorter term, or if it's, like Ultra, that could be an issue. So Kyle, a lot about G-Tech. So
G-Technic is one of the lines that I use. If you put Exo on your vehicle, just go ahead and pull most of it off and go ahead and apply it. I'm always going to recommend polishing if you're going to put a coating on top of a coating, after a year or two.
You said it was applied professionally.
So if it was professionally, it's probably Ultra, because, professionals do apply the other coatings as well, but I would say that you need to polish it first, abrade that top that coating down, remain, and then recoat. But that's a good coating too. If it's the top of the line G-Technic coating, if you paid a good lot of money for it, I don't know if it's time to remove it yet. If it's not performing for you, then if it is performing still, then just maintain it with Bead Maker. That's what I do. That's my maintenance for G-Tech is Bead Maker.
Yeah, or you could try. I've had a car that was coated in Ultra. It was about a year and a half, almost 2 years later, and they just kind of wanted a new coating, but we didn't necessarily want to rip it all off, and so we just polished it and then put Soul over it. And it worked just fine. So, and then Shane just said, I've used Ultra and had it topped with Soul. Yeah, it worked totally great. So if you're just looking for something to kind of boost it up, I would start with trying Soul. Give it another year or so, and then maybe do Legend. But I would maybe start with Soul, just because if it has only been a year, you're not wanting to, to rip too much of it off. I'm assuming it's probably okay, and you just want it, to be, feel fresher. I would start with Soul, honestly. That way you can just use a light polish, a light pad, abrade the surface, apply sole, and see how you feel. And then the nice part is if that's still not achieving what you want, then you can go into like a full polish, and that will also remove the sole quite easily. So I would start there personally. Yeah. And Shane, I've topped Ultra with sole. Yeah. Those two work great together. I've not had any problems with that at all. Yeah. Sole, I mean, I haven't found anything that sole doesn't work with, honestly. I've topped just about every other brand of coating. I mean, quite a few, probably 7 or 8 with sole, and it's a great topper. It's a really great topper. For me, I'll just say it again. Like for me in my shop, I don't feel like I'm missing a ceramic spray. I either use Bead Maker or sole, and sole is so easy to apply that, you know, for me, I wouldn't. I really like sole. It's a really great option.
I was trying something new here, but it's not working.
Oh,
right.
I thought we were gonna have some sort of surprise.
I was like,
I was like, wait, we're stuck.
What's he coming in? What's he coming in with?
It's supposed to be an overlay of the chat, but it's not showing up.
Oh, cool. So Shane added this, and I think this is important. Lots of customers just need a good maintenance wash. That is so absolutely true. So that's the other thing to try, Chris, is, you know, I have my customers come back once a year at that year mark, and I do the clay with Bead Maker, and that refreshes the coating all the time. I mean, it's so great. If you haven't tried that, honestly, try it. Just with like a clay mitt or a clay towel and Bead Maker. So you'll wash the car, leave it wet, spray Bead Maker on pretty liberally. When it's wet, use the clay mitt, clay towel, clay bar, whatever you want, and then dry it. And it's like you just got it coated. I mean, it is so fabulous. I use a clay towel, but that usually literally makes your coating look brand new again. And then if you felt like you needed to at that point, you could throw on a coat of sole, but I would try that. I would. Yep, Shane, all my customers get Pearl and Bead Maker. Yeah, Bead Maker is such an easy thing to maintain your coating with, and the customers can figure out pretty easily how to use it. With my customers, I just let them know, just, you know, a couple sprays per panel just to make sure that they're not going to have that streaking issue. But yeah, try that, Chris. Try the clay and Bead Maker first, and then go to sole if you're still not happy with it. And then if you're still not happy with it, feel free to reach out to us via social media, and Kyle and I will definitely help you. Cool.
All right. Got a little quiet on the questions.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk real quick about, you guys, make sure that if you do not follow our Instagram, make sure you follow our Instagram and Facebook pages. Kyle and I are working on a giveaway that we are going to announce sometime this week. And it's going to be a photo or video driven contest. We are looking for, I mean, we can say what we're looking for, right? We are looking, for
pictures of videos,
like detailers in action.
People using, yep, exactly.
Yeah, detailers in action. So we don't necessarily just want product photos. We want pictures and video of detailers using the products. So we want to, you know, we want to highlight those that use the products and what you're using them on. And so watch for that announcement. It's going to be a pretty big giveaway. So make sure that you follow all of those, and we'll try to get that out this week, but it'll last a couple weeks, but make sure that you are watching for that. That'll be super awesome. We're excited to do that. It's been a while. I think it's probably been almost a year since we did a giveaway. Yeah. Okay. So
maybe.
Yeah. So Dwayne asked, how's this product for dust repellent? So, we should play like Jeopardy. Like, what's the question? I think the question is Dream Maker, right? I'm gonna guess. So Dwayne, I do Meekum Auction and Street Outlaws. So Dwayne, are you talking about Dream Maker? I'm just gonna assume that you are, but let's just go through Bead Maker, Dream Maker, and Paint Gloss, since those are all the finishing sprays. So Bead Maker. Bead Maker it's not a dust repellent. We'll just answer that. It's not a dust repellent. Some would tell you that it's a dust attractor. Some say that they don't see that. I personally don't see that, but here's the deal with Bead Maker. And when doing things like at the Meekum auction, It needs time to cure out because it is a true sealant. It's bonding with the paint. There is a cure time. So while it's curing, if there is dust in the air and things like that, some would say that it could attract dust. Bead Maker has a positive charge. Then you move over to both Paint Gloss and Dream Maker. Those both have a negative charge. So I would still even be careful calling them a dust repellent. I don't think there's anything that actually repels dust, but it will have a negative charge, which will just mean it's not going to extra bring the dust onto it. So we use Paint Gloss on top of Bead Maker to counteract that positive charge while it's curing. So you can definitely try that. We do that at, the shows that we go to, McCall's and the Quail. We use Bead Maker and it's always been fine. But if we need, if there's dust in the air, we use Paint Gloss to cut that. Dream Maker, the new product, which I'm sure you will love since you're doing the cars for Meekum and Street Outlaws. It also has a negative charge. So you're not going to attract any dust. So, try all of them out, see what works. It seems to be very climate and environment driven. So just, try them all, see what works for you. But probably, what do you think? I don't think there's anything that I would actually say is a repellent.
Dust falls on, and if there's a static electricity on the paint, then anything's going to it. And so the best anti-paint gloss. So Paint Gloss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, you're going to continue to wipe. It's going to repel dust when it's falling in the air. I've been to the auctions before. They are dusts. I've been to Barrett and to Meekum and to what's the one I went to? Russo and Steel. Russo and Steel is in a dirt in Scottsdale, Arizona. Like it's they put up a tent on dirt. Everything gets dusty there. So I would say Paint Gloss is probably your best bet to keeping the dust off. But I don't have a dusting maker or Dream Maker. All right, let's go to our next question.
I'm not
Can
doing Kyle
do
a TikTok dance?
No.
Oh, come on. Do fancy like. I know you know it. Oh, too funny. Hey, Juan Gonzalez is here. Hi, Juan. That's funny. Hi, guys. Dream Maker. Awesome product. We started using it in our shop, and all I can say is wow. Just wow. I love Dream Maker. I use it as my final spray every time a customer's about to come pick up their car. I use it about 10 minutes before, 5-minute wipe down. I can literally get around an entire car in 5, max 10 minutes. And, I just kind of hit the, kind of the spots that they're going to be looking at. And I love it. And then the atmosphere, like the smell of Dream Maker for that to fill your shop, or even when you use it outside, there's like a bubble around your car that you can smell that Dream Maker. So, I'm loving it. Really loving it. Do you get to use it much, Kyle? Have you tried it on the airplanes yet?
Oh, he froze.
I've not tried Dream Maker. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. You were frozen there for a minute.
Okay. No, I have not tried it on the airplanes. I do because I pretty much wash them. And the only thing that we really do protect is the engines. I do lay some Bead Maker down on those because it'll make them easier when I clean them again. But no, I haven't used Dream Maker on it.
Yep. Okay, so Dwayne,
these comments going.
Yeah, so Dwayne back with I've seen some black vehicles that have clear bra and ceramic that seem to not get dusty so fast. Yeah, I would agree. The clear bra, definitely, I think it probably just has to do with that static charge on, when you have the metal fender or hood, it has a different static charge than that plastic coating does. So yes, I would agree that PPF probably does keep down the static charge a little bit. The hoods on both of my personal vehicles are wrapped in vinyl, and same thing. They don't have the same static charge that the rest of the vehicle does. So I can drive through a dusty area and like the back of my car, the sides will be just coated in dust and my hood almost has nothing on it. So I think that just has to do with the static charge that happens in the metal. And so, yeah, you'll probably notice that does keep it down. I don't know how much the ceramic plays into that. For me, I would almost venture to say that, and I think this is just because of how shiny and how mirror-like they are, but I would almost venture to say that on cars that have ceramic on them, I see more dust, but I think that's because of how shiny they are and how crystal clear they are versus your average daily driver. You know, I don't notice dust because you're not looking at the paint. You don't know, would you agree? I mean, I think I just notice it on ceramic coated cars because they're so clean and shiny. They're so eye catching, and the rest of the cars you just, so I notice it more on ceramic coated, but I don't think the ceramic is causing more dust. I think you just notice it more.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And then, Chris added to Dwayne, don't forget that wiping down a car with a towel causes static charge. Absolutely. So the higher pile towel you're using is going to create more static charge. So if you're using like an Eagle 350, an Eagle 500, and you live in an area where you experience a lot of static charge, try a different towel, because those long pile towels absolutely cause a static charge. So in that case, I would try, and that's why we say to use the FTWs with both Bead Maker and Dream Maker, is because the FTWs almost cause no static charge. That's why I use them. I mean, they absorb great too, but primarily it's because they create no static charge.
I like this one. This is my favorite.
Yeah. Spencer, that's a good plan. And then keep the garage door closed.
Put it in a bubble.
Oh, yes, put it in a bubble. One of those. Don't they make those like blow up? Matt Mormon has one. Those blow up garages that keep everything like hermetically sealed. That's the way to do it. That comes at a cost, though. That comes at a cost.
A couple grand.
Okay, so David said, I live in Alberta, Canada, where it is typically very dry, and I have noticed dust pollen stick to Bead Maker, unfortunately.
Stick to everything.
Yeah, it's just going to stick to everything. I mean, here in Boise, it's very dry as well. And when there's pollen in the air or stuff coming from the trees and stuff, I mean, it sticks to everything. It doesn't. And that's why I'm saying, I think that when we try to keep our cars clean and we have them ceramic coated, that's what I'm saying is I think we notice it more. But, if I'm parked in a parking lot and I walk down past, 50 cars, they all look the same. They all have the same level of dust on them. I don't think there's any way to prevent that. And I think we're just noticing it more because we're worried about the way that our cars look.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, you'd literally, to have no dust on a car, you literally would have to lock it in the garage, literally, and make sure that your garage door never opens.
And it's about pollen on the hood and the roof, or are we talking like it's actually sticking to the side of the car? Because I noticed dust and stuff sitting on the roof and the hood of my truck. That's because my next door neighbor doesn't have any grass. It's a dirt field next to me, and my truck gets filthy every week. So, but I don't notice it on the sides of my truck because it's vertical versus horizontal. One side it's going to settle on the surfaces, or it's not. So that's part of this dust issue that everyone keeps bringing up. I don't see this problem. It's just time to wash your car again.
Yeah. And in times of high pollen, there's just really nothing you can do. I mean, if my car's outside and it's pollen falling from the trees and we get even the lightest gust of wind, I mean, the entire car is covered in yellow pollen, and there's nothing that is going to defend against that. At least nothing I have ever seen in my entire life, other than, keep it in a garage. You can try taking a blower to it, if it's not something, if it's just dust and it's not, pollen's probably not going to blow off. But the other day I had a car that I left the garage door open, and it was actually, I think, that black Porsche, and I left the garage door open and I came out and it was just covered in dust and dirt particles because we had a pretty windy day. And I just took the blower and blew it off and it was totally fine. So, if it's just dust, you could try blowing it too.
That black Ram Power Wagon that we did, that we polished with Ultra Coat, and then I topped it with Bead Maker. When we were done dressing the tires and everything, it was dusty already. It's just dusty as could be outside because we just had a lot of wind. So I just took the leaf blower and blew off the whole vehicle right before the customer came out to see it.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes, it was going to be covered in dust again. So, it looked beautiful. Just had, literally, it was like ash from the fires falling on this truck.
Yeah.
So,
sometimes there's just nothing you can do about environmental stuff. Yeah. If anybody has ever found anything that literally defends against the environment, let me know, because I'd love to try it out, because I just don't think there's anything that literally repels all of life. And if there was, it would be crazy. So Dwayne says, I guess I need another warehouse to keep them in. I blow them off with a blowgun right before transport picks them up. Yeah, that's really the best you can do. It's really the best you can do. And the thing that we have to remember too is right when that customer picks up their vehicle and they drive it home, as soon as they get home, it's covered in dust. I was working on, last week too, I was working on a black Shelby GT350, and I actually took it to the rag company and we did some videos with it. And then I brought it back to my house. And so it was kind of funny because we had cleaned the wheels perfectly, because that was one of the videos we were doing, was cleaning wheels. So the wheels were black gloss and they were perfect. And I live like 4.5 miles from the rag company. I got home and the wheels were like no one touched them. So my point in that is that we have to remember, like, the customers know their car and they know that there's nothing that is going to defend against that. And as soon as they get home, the car's covered in dust. So I don't think that we can get too worried about, it being perfectly dust free all the time, because literally a block down the road, it's going to be covered in dust for them. And they know that. I think we're the ones that worry about it.
A little bit too much sometimes. We're freak out about the dust, but that's what, blow it off, wipe it down with some paint gloss or some Dream Maker, and then show them a car and then leave. And if it gets dusty again, then they can hire you to wash it, because it's no longer your problem.
Yep. Dwayne says, I just did the car from the movie Thunderbird last week, and it was literally like looking in a mirror. That's awesome. That's awesome. I feel you on this. I get totally wrapped around the axle on it looking absolutely perfect. And my customers, obviously, a lot of them live within a very small radius of myself. And so I see them, and that Porsche Panamera that I was telling you about, I had how many hours in that thing, right? Making it look so nice. And then I saw it driving down the road a couple days later, and I was like, it just happens. It's life.
Can't worry about that stuff.
It's life. Yeah. Yep. Kyle Camus is heading to the shop. Have an awesome day. It's a Monday. Did you guys see that? That's pretty cool.
I was going to bring that up, Kyle.
Yeah.
We were talking about blowing cars off.
Yeah.
That's what I use.
Yes. Yep. So Matt, and tell me if I'm wrong in this, but from what I understand, Matt had somebody manufacture the stubby nozzle for the Eagle blower. So they are a little bit expensive, but Chris, I saw your comment on one of his forums that it does seem a little bit expensive, but to try to make it yourself, you've got just about that much financially invested, but then the time and the hassle, right? So it's probably worth it. I think that's worth it. You know, I don't have the Ego, I have the Ryobi, but it's very similar to that. But I always think, can I just cut the end off of mine? You know, so I think that's really cool. And I've seen, you know, I got to use Kyle's when we were at or who had the stubby? Was it you or Kyle? Chris?
I think it was me.
We both do.
I got to use it at McCall's, and that was pretty cool. That makes a huge difference when blowing off the car. Huge.
Yep. But this huge. I was noticing this one's kind of cool because right at the very tip, I think that's rubberized.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice.
So that's a bonus that I haven't seen on one yet.
Yeah, that's nice.
Anyway, just thought it was cool since we were talking about it.
Yeah, that is really cool. I saw that too, and there was kind of mixed reviews about it. Everybody loves it, but I did see people complaining about the price. But you have to remember, like, there's you know, engineering and thought and manufacturing that goes into those. And if you think about, okay, so that $20, what was it, about $20 difference between what you made yours for, Chris?
Yeah.
And does that pay for the headache of trying to figure it out yourself? In my case, it would be absolutely. You know, I would much rather just let somebody else figure that out and engineer it. So
yep.
Cool. And those Ego blowers are awesome. I probably should get one, but my Ryobi is fine. It's fine. But I do like the Ego blowers. Those are cool. And the Ego power centers, those things are way too cool. Way cool.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Well, man, our questions are quiet this week.
Everybody, I know it's because it's dark and cold.
Well, yeah. I actually would I need to get going too, because I am going to go down to PDT, one of our distributors in the Vista area,
cool.
Kind of North San Diego. Do a open garage this morning, where there's some detailers coming out. We're going to go through the product line and play with a car.
Awesome.
And answer their questions just like we're now.
Very cool. And Chris, do you want to mention the before Kyle takes off, do you want to mention, is there the one day extremes coming up?
Yeah, we do. And I gotta push those a little bit more actually. We have what do you call it? One day extreme class happening at 7 different locations around the country on October 23rd. So we've got Big Bear, California, Scottsdale, Arizona, San Antonio, Texas, Auburn, Indiana, Atlanta, Georgia, let's see, Melbourne, Florida, and Long Branch, New Jersey. I think I got them all.
Cool. So and they can find those in the bio on Detailing Success. Is that right? Or is it on PNS too?
Yeah, I mean, you can search any of our social media. No, it's just on Detailing Success.
Okay.
Any of our social media, and you should be able to find some kind of post about it with a link. Definitely there's a registration link in the bio of our Instagram account. Cool. And I'll be posting even more about that this week. So
yeah, and you guys, those are awesome. If you're looking for a one-day training, you know, just to kind of get more familiar with the line, and you know, our training centers across the US are awesome. And the one-day extremes are so good. So I highly encourage everybody to look those up if you have one in your area. And we can talk more about those next time. And just a reminder, make sure to follow our social media this week, as Kyle and I will get that the giveaway announced and all of that. That'll be super fun. And then, you know, we're going to have a lot of new videos dropping on our YouTube, a couple new product videos, and anything else, and Kyle?
Real quick, going back to training, I just want to make sure we talk about the trainings that PNS does up in Hayward as well. The upcoming October classes are completely sold out, but we have a detailing class on November 9th that has quite a few spots left in it, and then a ceramic coating class on November 10th. And the registration for those is available directly on the website that we were showing you guys earlier, and also in the bio links on the PNS Instagram account.
Yes. Awesome. Yep. So lots of trainings for you guys if you are looking for those. And otherwise, we will be back here in 2 weeks. Make sure you bring your questions, and we'll have more details and fun stuff to talk about. But you guys have an awesome, awesome Monday. And it's the start of a new month, which is exciting. And Kyle,
We're
have
in
fun
October.
at PDT today. It
I will.
is.
I'm excited.
It's crazy. Halloween month. Yeah.
I know.
Very good. All right. Well, travel safe, and we will see you guys later this week with our giveaway announcement. Thanks, Chris.
See you later.
Cool. Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Chris.